Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu students. I'm Sabir Hasnain, your social studies subject teacher from grade 7. In this chapter we will discuss about transport and communication, chapter number 7. If you remember, in our class we discussed by different means of transportation from one place to another place. Over there we discussed about by land, by sea, by roads, by pipeline, and by air as well. So now we will discuss few of them in detail. Ways of transportation. The first question is ways of transportation. There are several ways of transportation. Out of those ways, 5 of them are given on the screen right now, and in this video we will discuss 3 ways of communication or transportation, by land, by railway, by pipeline, and we will discuss air travel, by airplane, and by sea in a later video. Number 1, by land. This is the oldest mean of transportation in which people travel by land. Roads ranging from very simple earth tracks to the giant motorways are the lifeline of the society. If you remember my lecture in the class, I told you there were no roads 300, 400, 5 years back. Or in fact 200 years back, when there were no vehicles. So at that time people would like to travel by some simple earth tracks, to their horses, to their camels, etc. Or maybe they travel by walked as well. So at that time they were simple earth tracks. But with the development, with the passage of time, they used their vehicles, and now by vehicles you can move from one place to another place by using roads. Roads are very expensive to build, but they have the advantage that they can be built almost everywhere where you want to, either at the top of the mountain, either any valley, or somewhere else. If you look at the Salala, whenever we will go to the mountain or Jabal, over there you can see if there is a single home over there, the road can be built till that home. So although it's difficult to build, but it can go anywhere. Next point, motor vehicles can load up to the factory, or farm, and carry the goods vehicle and directly to where they are needed. I told you in the class about Al-Marai trucks and Al-Marai buses. So what they do, they actually take their goods. They actually take their yogurt and many other things from one place to another place where they are needed, either at the shop in the city or somewhere at the top as well. So that's why motor vehicles can easily used and through roads or by lands to transfer one form of the material to one place to the other place as well. Now the second mean of transportation is by railways. Railways were actually the first mass transit means of transport in which we can transfer heavy load from one place to another place. In Pakistan, when we were in Indo-Pakistan region at the time of subcontinent time, during 1850s to after 1850s to 1947, the British built a very good setup of railway in Indo-Pakistan region. So although they are expensive to build and maintain as well, they can carry huge amount of goods and passengers over a fairly over a very cheap rate and over long distances. So I told you in the class, if you want to transfer some goods through cargo, initially from Salalah they will go by sea, and then after Karachi they will your luggage will go to your city either in Lahore or Rawalpindi. That will go to your city by railways, and that would be very cheap. That would be at very cheap rates. So this is the reason it can take a mass transit from one place to another place. Or in Pakistan, uh, this is actually railway is actually declining, but around the world in many countries like in France and Japan, latest trains can travel for hours at well up to the speed of 350 kilometer per hour, and those trains are called bullet trains. Now today, as I told you, this form of transportation is declining as a passenger transport because of buses and by air. These are the other means people likes to travel by buses or by air, and that can save their time to travel from one place to another place. But in form of goods, these trains are, I mean the good trains, these are still important for carry heavy load such as stone, coal, oil, etc. Okay, now let's move towards the third way of communication, that is by pipelines. Pipelines, we can't transfer any solid material through pipelines. It's very simple thing. There are two things we can transfer from one place to another place by pipeline. That number one is some gas, which is natural gas, and oil as well. In other words, we can transfer any liquid, we can transfer any gas by using pipelines. We can't move any solid material from by using pipeline from one place to another place. So pipelines are means of transportation that is specially useful for moving oil, gas, and other petroleum within a region. They, these pipelines are made of steel, maybe concrete, or even with the plastic as well. Okay, so the material used for to make these pipelines: plastic, concrete, and steel. Okay, you can make by using any material. Now the next thing, as the technology develops, these pipelines can be around 10 meter in diameter, but the more useful one, okay, which is used about that is about 2 meter wide. Okay, so the width is 2 meter, or in other word, diameter is about 2 meter. So around 2 meter diameter pipeline is used for many purposes, for oil, gas, etc. Okay, in other words, it can also be used for water as well, to irrigate or for drinking water from some dam to some city. So we use pipeline as well. If I told you the example, water from Tarbela Dam or water from any other dam that comes into Rawalpindi, so they use pipelines to transfer water, transportate water from one place to another place. Pipelines are also expensive to build, but once they made, they are cheap to run. But look, it requires a very less labor as compared to by using buses or by using trains. The reason is, when you build it, then you do not need any kind of labor. In fact, a very less labor as compared to buses. You over there you need a continuous labor, continuous with the continuous time. Every day you need another person for to transfer the goods. But in case of pipelines, we do not need such kind of a thing. Pipelines do need a booster station after 80 kilometer. What is the reason? Because these booster stations, the booster station is what is a booster station? Actually, booster station is a large pump which gives the liquid or a gas another push along the pipe. The reason is, when any liquid or gas moves from one place to another place, and with the passage of time, the speed of that liquid or that gas reduces, or in other words, the pressure of that gas or that liquid reduces. To further enhance that pressure, to further maintain that pressure, or to further to maintain the speed of that substance, either liquid or gas, we must need a booster station, and that booster station can help that specific liquid and or gas to transfer from one place to another place. That's why we use these booster stations after 80 kilometer. Pipelines can go straight from one point to another point where it is needed. So it means we can also say we transfer pipeline, or we use pipeline from a point where something is produced, like oil or gas, at some place where it is produced, so we can take it to the point where it is needed. In case of pipelines, there is no chance of stealing goods, as in trains or road transport, because the substance flowing along the pipeline is not usable, that is not in purified form. I told you the example of raw form of oil, that is not useful when we dig it from the earth's surface. But after that, when we take it to the factory, okay, or the purification plant, then we can use that oil or petrol. Okay, before initially we can't use, because that is in raw form, that is not in pure form. So that's why it's not easy to steal goods as in trains or roads in case of pipeline. And at last, in this case, it would be quite impossible to control the flow if the pipeline was open. Let's suppose if there is leakage in the pipeline, that's very hard to control that flow. The reason is because of the high pressure and the speed as well. You know, as I told you earlier, that liquid or that gas moves at very high pressure. Okay, so we can't control the flow when it was open or leaked. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Inshallah, next time we'll discuss about by air, by aeroplanes, and by sea as well. Take good care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.